Hey everybody, Monkeypuzzle here, and I would like to bring you another episode of advanced building tips and tricks in ARK Survival Evolved. Today's topic is fence foundations, and I am here on the IronMine server playing in Survival in PVE, doing a real build. I'm about to mirror this whole tower complex I built on this side over on this side, and I'd reached a good place to show you a few things. So I'm trying to build a fence around here in order to keep my dinos in and keep the bad dinos out, and just wanted to talk a little bit about working with them because they can be tricky like building can be in general in ARK Survival Evolved. So if you're like me and you like to build a little bit off the grid, not just build squares, the shape you see below you, the octagon, is one of the best I've found for doing something interesting with fence foundations. When you snap them together, the angles that they snap together at lend themselves to this shape. Now, I've made this octagon 7 foundations on a side, and that's because the behemoth gates you see over there, that the biggest gates to let all your different sized dinos in and out, are 7.5 foundations wide. And so they can fit on 7 foundations, they can fit on 8 foundations, but it has to be at least that big. So that's this size right here. Of course, you could do it much bigger. Now, you can freehand place these. You don't have to just snap them like that or like that or like that. But it's trickier, and it's very hard to get the walls to align exactly right when you do it this way. I'm not discouraging you from doing it, but today we're going to talk about just the mechanics of snapping them together. So one thing I just wanted to mention real quick is that when you do snap an octagon together, it didn't happen here, which I'm not disappointed about, but usually when you come all the way around, snapping them together, you get a place where when you reach the end, that they don't meet exactly. And that happened to me over there. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it did not happen over here, so I can't show you that. But say you put it all together and there was a little gap here that a dillo or somebody could go through. The easy solution for that is to make that gap happen at a place where you're going to place a gate. And so when you place the gate, you won't have walls there, and then you can easily absorb that error by the placement of the gate. And you don't even have to leave the fence foundations under the place where you're going to put the gate. In fact, I recommend not. We'll do another episode about gate placement next time in the next episode of this series. But for now, I just wanted to mention those few things. So let's do a little work over here. And I just want to get to the real kernel of this episode. Just a few tricks for placing the fence foundation. So I ended over here, and we're at a place now where we're going up some real uneven terrain, and that's where it gets real tricky. So you can see I've got the fence foundations in my number 8, a hotbar slot. I'm going to press number 8, and you can see it snapping together. Now, my first inclination when building with these was to go forward like that. You see that one cooperated, it's snapping, but it doesn't always work out right. Actually, there we go. Yeah, when it's just kind of goes into a position there, that's the snap. Doesn't always work well that way. Of course, there's other options for snapping depending on where it is. You can go at angles. This one's not doing it too well. But I found that the easiest way to place it is actually to face the previous foundation, get it in the center of your screen, and then place like that. And the behavior of the snapping is kind of erratic, so it's hard to show you everything I want. But it's cooperating again this time. It doesn't always do that. But you can also see you can snap at 45 degree angle, a 90 degree angle, 135 degree angle, and then going straight 180 degrees. So again, that's working for me, which is a little frustrating because that doesn't always work. But it does work very consistently when you do what I said last, where you look at the previous foundation, get it in the center of your screen, and then back up, and they're placed. Let's see if it cooperates going this way. See, now here's a good example of looking at it this way. It won't snap forward, at least not most of the time. It can be hard to find. but it's very easy to find this way. So let's do that, and let's keep bringing it back like that. Now we're starting to go up a pretty dramatic slope. So let's see what happens when we do that. Let me bring this back. See if we can get that snap. We can get it right there. And let's try it again. Right here. Now see, the hill is going up too steeply for this to snap. So this is the main thing I have to offer you today, is when you get into this situation where they won't snap anymore, you can try to place it freehand, but you're going to lose your straight line if that's what you're going for. And also it's going to be really hard to get it exactly right so your walls line up. Now you see, in these situations, you usually can get one of the other snaps. There's that one, and there's that one. And it's hard to tell, but that one is a little bit lower than that one. So we're going to go for the higher one. And let's see if that helped us yet. Oops, I actually accidentally drank. I meant to select that. And so it's still not snapping. So let's see. I'm going to change my position a little bit. And see, now I'm still on that same snap point. And now it's even a little bit higher. These are all on the same point. They're all rotating around it, pivoting around this one spot right there. So now let's see, when we do this, if we can get a snap. And follow my own advice, come back like that. And there it is. So using the snapping in the positions that we don't want, we were able to get ourselves up the hill. And it's a pretty dramatic change. Can always come through now and demolish these because we didn't want them in the first place. Let's get rid of that one and get rid of that one. All right, now that we cleaned it up a little bit, let's grab a couple walls. That one, and let's place that one, and let's see if these really did line up. That one's going to face the wrong direction, so I'm going to use my use key and turn it around. For most people, that would be E. And you can see that these pretty much line up within the tolerances of ARK anyway, that we were able to get it in the right position using that technique. So that's basically it. Let me see if I've got my seven foundations that I'm using for each side. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's cool. So let's just take it down the hill, and then that would be it for this tutorial. I just wanted to show you what happens when we use the same technique to go downhill. So see, I'm having a hard time getting a snap there again, but let's find a place where we can snap to this fence foundation. There, it wants to snap there, and then we can use that now to then see, now I'm getting a snap there from that, and I wanted to change the angle there and go down this way. So placing that one helped me to be able to snap this one into place. It would not have done it on its own. So let's take it down the hill, and that one snaps. That's great. Let's see if this one will cooperate. And it will, just barely, finding it there. Now this one, I have a pretty good feeling is not going to want to do it. So here's the same situation, going downhill. It's changing too much. It doesn't want to snap. So let's find the best snap point that we can use to help us get down. And I think it's that one. So let's go ahead and place that and then grab this. And now see, I am getting the snap point that I'm looking for all the way down here. So let's go ahead and demolish this guy. And once again, let's just grab a few walls and see how good of a job that did as far as lining up. Okay, so again, let's grab a couple walls now and place them on these and see how well they lined up. So there you go. That one looks even a little better than the last one. Good enough for ARK. So that's it for the day. And I just wanted to finish out with the completed construction. This is the area we were just working on right here. You can see I augmented the window walls with stone railings on top just to make it more effective and try to play with it aesthetically a little bit. You can see the octagon shape there and the octagon shape there. This one kind of looks like a big heart. Anyway, and let's put some gates in useful places, and you can see some storage going on in there. But I cover both of those in upcoming tutorials. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. If you have anything to contribute to what I went over today, please share it down in the comments, because I go over what I can in these videos, but I always learn a lot from you all. So this is Monkeypuzzle signing out. Bye bye.